more than 1.2 million people have been vaccinated, with 128,000 of those administered in the United States. My next guest not only was involved in both Moderna and Pfizer vaccine trials, but was the principal investigator for Moderna's second and third trials. He also became one of those who was vaccinated himself on Wednesday. Joining me now is Dr. Paul Bradley. He's an internist and the principal investigator at Meridian Clinical Research here in Savannah. Dr. Bradley, good to see you. Thank you for being with us.
Good morning.
How are you feeling?
I feel fantastic. I told everybody that I promised in the clinical trial that I was going to be the first one in line, and I was the first one in line.
Now tell me about your work in understanding this, because obviously now that this vaccine's out there, we have a million questions.
We have a million questions, and we've been trying to answer them all along, because everyone thinks we started yesterday, but we didn't. You know, this clinical trial actually started back in February. Phase 1, Phase 2 was April, May, and Phase 3, July. At this point, anyone who is going thinks they're the first one in line, but they're not. Pfizer had 45,000 people. Moderna had 30,000 people. All these heroes have gone in front,
right?
And so there's a lot of experience already.
It's good information. You're never really the first one in line for a vaccine. But you made an interesting point. The clinical trial has been underway since February. Peter Hotez, who I was just talking to from Baylor, makes that point that we have been studying coronavirus for a very, very long time. I think there's a researcher at Penn who's been doing this for 40 years.
Absolutely. Heck, I can remember going to World Vaccine just a couple of years ago and listening to Dr. Hotez. No one wanted to listen to him.
Correct.
He was telling everybody, this is coming, this is coming. It's here, and we need to address it rapidly, and we are. It's amazing.
Obviously, in the media, we cover these stories about the hiccups in the distribution of the vaccine, because we should, but what's your sense of how it's gone? Starting from last week, the rollout of the Pfizer vaccine, the distribution, the way that's been done, now today, another historic moment, really. I mean, a second vaccine for the world's most serious pandemic.
Absolutely. I think it's been happening just as the government said, at warp speed. And I went personally, it was beautiful. We went in, we out. Yes, it's going to be complicated figuring out how to get everybody in and who should be getting it now and who should be getting it later, but it's happening.
What's the sense of distribution? The Pfizer vaccine needs the super cold temperature, minus 70 degrees centigrade. This one doesn't. So that means this can get to places that the Pfizer vaccine couldn't reach, because we have these so-called vaccine deserts in the U.S.
It's true, but it's interesting because the way the government set this up, they understood it was going to be a problem way back in July, and they started working on it. This is not, it sounds like we just started thinking about it, but it's not. The logistics are in place. The military, General Parna, was put in charge originally, and the plan is in place, and it was happening beautifully.
And so what's your sense of how, people want to know how long it'll be before regular folks can start getting these vaccines? I know we can't really narrow it down to exact time, but once you pass first responders and healthcare workers and nursing home residents and nursing home workers, if you're not an at-risk person, but you want to get this vaccine because you want to get back to work, you want to be able to tell your customers, everybody, all our staff has been vaccinated, when do you think it's going to be before the first time we're going to get shots for regular folks are?
They tell us spring or summer, but I'm really hoping that everyone is under-promising and is going to be over-delivering. And I think that at the rate we're going, there's a lot of good suggestion to think that.
We have been seeing the number of people willing to take the drug, the vaccine, increasing. You think it's going to keep on doing that as we keep on televising it and showing people getting injections and doctors go out there like you?
I think so. You know, the average flu shot every year is 50 to 70% effective. I think when people heard 95%, it really got their attention. I mean, I had my shot last Wednesday. Come this Wednesday, I will have a 55% chance already of not catching coronavirus. Wow. And 1 week after my second shot, which is 1 month from the beginning, I'll have a 95% chance of not getting coronavirus. That's tremendous.
Dr. Bradley, thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure.
We appreciate that. Dr. Paul Bradley is an internist and the principal investigator at Meridian Clinical Research here in Savannah, Georgia. All right, I want to bring in Dr. Peter